Welcome back, fellow pirates. This is Guide Part 2. If you have not seen Part 1, check the video link in the description. This is how to kill Draconian Research Garrisons, what ships you want to build. So first off, you want a tank. Your tank, you can use a Punisher. In this build here, I have D1 armor. D5 will work much better, but it's going to be a longer build time. And key features about this build. There's going to be some Phalanx 4 here. You need at least 3 of them in targets. I would suggest 4. That way you'll be sure you shoot down all the missiles. And I also have 6 Hail Ds on here. You can use Gales. They work better. These are just Hail Ds for people who don't have the limited. If you can get the Hails, you should do so. And this little weapon right here, this missile, this is not to hurt the enemy. This is so your remote targeting ships, like your Citadels, can launch their mortars and kill stuff. You need at least a 76 range missile plus solid fuel booster 3. Or you can use a launcher range 92, such as the Antipode or Squall launcher. Obviously this engine here is speed, everyone uses that. We have some MX3 armor here. That's going to be resistances for the whole fleet. There's the frontline countermeasure system. That's going to provide a range buff, accuracy buff to all your countermeasures. You have evade 3, so less of the enemy stuff hits you. And minor variations here are fine. Like if you want to use agility system instead, that works great too. Tank option 2 is a Tide-Seeker. Here, it's basically the same. You can swap out for Hail Ds instead of Gales if you want to. And one thing to note on this build is the weight is very close to max. If you're too close on weight, you can shift off a Hail D. The thing with the Tide-Seeker is there's an extra special slot, so I put engine upgrade on here. I don't actually have that, so I just leave that blank on my build, which is fine. And this is using D1 armor. You can't switch D5 on because it's too heavy. And in the middle here, you see this special RA3 instead of MX3 because the Tide-Seeker has no missile defense and very high inherent explosive defense. So that's that reasoning right there. Moving on to the Zelos. This is going to be the best tank for you. It's going to be the fastest tank, but it's got a really high build time. 17 days. You got some D1 armor right here. It's also pretty close to weight, so you can't really use D5. You have 4 Phalanx here, and a whole bunch of Gales in there. This is just to make sure nothing gets through. I have some 1s, some 2s in there. Once again, if you want to use Hail D, that works fine. I have my Squall launcher here for 95 remote range. I would recommend a missile plus solid fuel booster 3 instead of a evade upgrade here, but this one works fine. Some people think this ship's too fast, so they use speed system 3 to slow it down instead of speed system 5. If you're building this with Empyreans, it's not going to be a problem, but if you're trying to run this in front of Citadels, Punisher might be a better option for you because it's slower. Now, part 2, mortar ships. You want to have a tank leading some mortar ships. 1 tank, 4 mortar ships. Got it? Now I'm going to have a little extra video on 2 tanks, 3 mortar ships, but that's a story for another time. So the best mortar ship so far is the Monolith. This is my build here, ran from the Forsaken Council, also has a pretty close build to it. So, you have some mortars on there, that's what kills stuff. I got the new one plus a coaxial on there, that does decent. Then you got that 1 Gale on there, just in case a spare mortar gets through. But you got a huge splash on there, so you can kill a whole bunch of stuff. I'm talking plus 200% splash. You have Garrison battery there, just because it weighs a bit less than the regular battery. And one thing I added here is turn armor, so the ships turn a bit faster, so you're not stuck maneuvering around those mines. If you don't know all the tech here, don't worry. Use combustion system 1 instead. Use some judgment mortars instead. Doesn't matter. Mortar ship number 2, Citadel. Basically the same build. But it has a much faster projectile speed. You can use 1 Gale instead of that coaxial there. Works fine too. I like this one more than my Monolith actually, because it just does so much better. The problem with it is it's kind of slow, so watch out. Now one thing I'm going to note is the Hardlock Citadel greatly increases the power of this fleet. If you can get it by any means, it's only 6 or 7 million, you should do that. It will help you immensely. Now, next mortar ship here is the Empyrean. And this is kind of different because it's a generalist, so you can fit stuff to it that you couldn't to normal ships, like that Z mortar up there. Pretty standard build. It uses most of the same stuff. There's a heavy weapon slot, but don't worry about that. If you want to fit some turn armor on there, you can do so. And if you can build the MX Prime, that will help you out a lot, because that's going to increase your power just like the Ship-Citadel. It's 10 million points in the April raid, so if you can get it then or some other way, probably worth it. Yeah, that's going to work best with the Zelos tank lead. I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and if you want to subscribe, do so. If you want to leave a like, greatly appreciated.